Hi there. Welcome to Flosstube number 8. My name's Amanda. My pronouns are she, her, and this is my cross-stitching channel, which is called Sycamore Stitches. Um, it's only been, I think, a week since my last, well, maybe a little over, like a week and a half since my last video, but that was a kit parade and I didn't show any progress on there. So Um, it's been a few weeks since I had a regular floss tube. However, I do have some progress, but maybe less than I would expect for that period of time because I did take a trip last week, which was great. My husband and I left the kids with my parents and we went to Telluride, Colorado to go skiing. We're in Pittsburgh, so that's kind of far. We planned that trip when months ago when the pandemic looked like it was calming down, and of course, things changed. And I was a little nervous because I have not been on a plane in years since, you know, the before times. But it all seemed fine. We weren't going to like obviously a heavily populated area. We weren't hanging out in large groups. We were skiing outside. I mean, we did go to restaurants, but it wasn't it wasn't uh, it wasn't super anxiety provoking once we actually got there. I found, unfortunately, I mean, it was a great trip. I had a great time. We were supposed to ski for 3 of the days we were there, but at the end of the second day, I fell. I hurt myself. I was not able to ski on my third day. My husband went without me, and I hung out at our kind of Airbnb place. Um, and of course, what I hurt was my right shoulder and arm. It works, but it hurts. I can't really lift, and I can't really lift things that are more than a few pounds, and I can't really easily. I mean, I can, but it hurts. I can't really lift it up. So I'm gonna go get it checked out. I have an appointment in a few days. But of course, it's my stitching arm. I can stitch, but I can't really stitch a ton. I can't stitch for long periods of time because it starts to hurt. And I don't feel very confident doing kind of more detailed work, I guess. I have really only been doing, since I hurt that, which was a week ago yesterday, I've only been doing projects that are kind of on 14 count Ada because that just feels very manageable. Of course, and then on my traveling, I'd only taken a project that was 14 count Ada because of the traveling. So, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not. Oh, sorry about that. Um, anyhow, I yeah, so I haven't worked on like all of my projects, although I guess some of them I had worked on in the time before the trip, which is since I talked to you guys last. So I will show those. Um, and I have been not working since, so I've said before, I guess I never said welcome at the beginning. Whatever. I write down notes and then I ignore them. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you're not, and thanks for coming back. But anyhow, I've said before, I'm a doula, and that's what I do as my primary job. Um, but my last birth was December 1st. My December client, I only had one, and it was like early on. I didn't have any January clients, kind of just because it worked out that way, and kind of because I was taking that trip and keeping some time off. So I have been off call for 2 months now, which is very unusual for me. I usually do take a month off once or twice a year, but not usually two in a row. And I didn't. It just kind of happened that way. I only took January off, but um, I kind of ended up with December off. But anyhow, I am back on call. I have a, I'm sorry, my phone is beeping at me. I have a early February client, so I'm back on call. So hopefully I'll have a birth in the next couple weeks. It's been a while, and it'll be nice to get back to it. So, as for the stitching, I have no finishes. I have no fully finished things. I have like 3 projects sitting up there that need to be fully finished, but are not yet. They're not going to go bad. They're not going to spoil. They can just continue sitting on the top of my shelf. But I do have a new start, which kind of is against my personal rules where I only have kind of a set number of WIPs, works in progress, and only start a new start when I finish one. But this one is a gift, so, and I have to have it done by early March, so I had to start it. So I'm breaking my rules, but because of that, like when I finish this one, I won't automatically start a new one. It's just kind of like an extra. So it's this Clover one. It's not going to be a very, it's not a very big project. It says 93 by 93, but there's a lot of blank space there in the middle. None of that white is stitched. It says the author is Marianna Oz, and it looks like the Etsy shop I got it from is Cross Stitch with Art. It's only like 3,000 stitches total. So I started this actually on my birthday last week. And I finished all of one color, which was the color with the most amount of stitches. But there's my little dragonfly needle minder is right in the middle. But it's obviously like, it's not going to look like much until I start filling it in. But you can actually see where the 3 leaves are and kind of where the stem is of the Clover. Like I said, this is just one color, and it is about 750 stitches. So I'm actually a quarter of the way done, even though I have 6 more colors to go. But this was like the biggest color, and so now I should be able to a little more easily fill in the rest without quite as much counting. Although I didn't find this to be horrible with counting. I don't mind counting. I don't mind going cross country. That's typically what I do. There's even a couple of stitches that are almost like inside the hoop, which isn't great, but like I said, I don't plan to be working on this one for very long. And the fabric, the Aida, is actually so stiff that I've occasionally been taking it out of the hoop and working in hand, which I don't usually do, but this is stiff enough and small enough that I can. So I might continue to do that a little bit as I move on, because you can see there's like these little spots of splashes that go way kind of outside, and so they're kind of outside of my hoop here. I do not know how I'm going to finish this yet. I'll have to figure that out when I get there, because like I said, it's a gift. So that is number 1. I'll just show you my couple that I barely did anything on, because they were from before my trip. So here's my Owl Forest, Northern Land. I'm up in this kind of top quarter of the piece. And I didn't do very much on this. I think I only probably worked about an hour on it before my trip. I just kind of finished this little motif, brought this all the way down, and then started coming down on this. Not much at all, but it is looking nice. So this point right here is about the halfway point of going down. And then this point, kind of in the middle of this motif, is the halfway point of going across. So I think that's about right. Yeah, it is. So obviously like this section here is not filled in, but like once it is, that's a quarter of it. So I'm getting somewhere, I guess. So there's that. Oh, I should say I'm using the Owl Forest threads I bought from them, and they have this very nice variegation. And then the fabric is a 32 count Picture This Plus. I have to look this up. The color is called Earthen. Is this a Lugana? Yes. Lugana. In Earthen, which I really like. So, like I said, that was like a couple weeks ago that I last picked that up, and I didn't do very much on it. And then the other one that I also picked up, haven't picked up since before vacation, and I just did a little bit on, is my Peppermint Purple 2021 style, which 2021's over, and I'm not done. But I'm a little over halfway, so this is just kind of like the shape of it and color scheme of it, because I'm using the called for colors. And so you can see like this is halfway through, this is the halfway point. So I'm a row down from the halfway point, although I'm missing this little block right here. So I'm getting there. I only did these 2 squares last week, but getting there. And I still need to do some black outlining around a lot of the boxes. I figure one day when I'm bored, I don't want to think, I can do that. But I'm not into doing that right now. Okay. I have one other piece that I haven't picked up since before vacation, which is my Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework, which I love this piece. I'm actually kind of sad because I really want to work on this piece right now, but I have been doing it. It's got these, well, I'm not on a specialty stitch part of it, but it has specialty stitches, and it has, I'm using like a silk, a dinky dye silk, which I've never used. This is my first time using silk. I'm sorry, I'm looking for the title page to show you the picture, but I don't know where it is. Oh, it's right on the bottom. And I was trying to be like really precise with this one, so I'm using like a little like knitting needle as a laying tool. So it's like a two-handed project, and I don't know, I guess I'm not really feeling up to it with my arm being how it is right now. But here's a picture of it finished, although I don't feel like this picture really does it justice. But it's on black linen, and it's rainbow colors coming down, and every other band of it is cross stitch starting up here, and then specialty stitch, band, and then cross stitch. So I'm on the 3rd band right now, which is cross stitch. And look how pretty these are. I mean, these are only the ones I haven't used yet. I've taken like 3 of them out. But look how pretty. Although the light is shining too much on it. There you go. So anyhow, this is when I noticed my arm's not working quite right. Like, I can't get this out of the bag. Okay, so here's where I am on this. Again, this light that I'm using is not great for the yellows. It kind of washes them out. I don't know. It's not really showing the colors real nice. But last time, so this band of specialty stitches has actually 5 different rows of specialty stitches, and I was like partway through like the last of those 5. So I finished that and have started this cross stitch row, which I I'm close to being done with not the row, but with the color I'm on, because this row is going to be like, it's going to be double this, but I'm going to switch colors halfway through. It is kind of embarrassing how it took me, well, I guess it was because I was on the specialty stitches and it didn't particularly matter, but I'm on the third color of this project. And I started into the cross stitch section of it, and then I realized that my color is variegated. It's not a big variegation, but it has some, because the first two colors, they didn't have variegation. And then I picked up the third color, and it did. And it actually took me stitching for a while with it before I kind of realized. I don't know if you can see. Again, the yellows are not doing great with my light, but it has some light variegation. Anyhow, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. So I'm almost done with that color. And then if I look at these, it looks like most of them are not variegated. There's like one other that looks variegated. Maybe two. That blue one is too. And it is light, but like, I was kind of, I guess, surprised that some of them were and some of them weren't. Anyhow, I love this project and I really do want to get back to this one, but I feel like it might be hard for me to work on it with the way my arm is right now. And I also feel like I want to do like really precise work on it. And it's for when I'm feeling in that mood. Maybe I should always be in a mood to do really precise work. But I'm not in that mood. Let's just say that. Like, I've been working on my Ada projects, and honestly, I haven't been super pleased with my stitching since I hurt myself. So I'm sticking to these ones that are easy and that I don't care quite as much about, like if my threads look a little twisty or something. So this was my travel piece that I took with me. It is called Ski Lift from Awesome Pattern Studio. Actually a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's full coverage within the circle, and it's like a 11 or 12,000 stitches. So this was my travel piece, not only because I was going skiing, so it seemed appropriate, but also because it has large blocks of color, and I did some outlining before I left so that I could just fill in blocks of color while I was traveling and on the airplane and stuff and not have to count. And also because it was on Pattern Keeper. Some of my charts are on my phone and some of them are, paper charts. Also, I just want to say this sky is so blue in here. It looks like an exaggeration, right? The sky was actually that blue. Here in Pittsburgh, we got a lot of gray skies, so it's really nice. I don't mind cold. I don't mind snow. We actually have a ton of snow right now. We came home to like more snow than like when we were like flying through Denver. So we have a lot of snow right now, but we don't usually have much sun. Although it is sunny today, but it's like we have light blue skies. We don't have these bright blue skies. And there was a gondola where we were at, but it didn't look like that. Anyhow, I just keep showing you that. I should show you what I stitched. Right? So, here is where we are. I'll put up a picture of where I was at before because I did do a lot of progress on this one. I think I wrote down that I did about 2,500 stitches on this since we last talked. And obviously I still have some outlining. I'm almost out of this color. I have one more, like 1 yard piece of 6, but it's definitely not going to fill it in. So I do need, it's on my list for when I next go to the store to pick up another skein of that. And some of it is, there's white stitching in these clouds, so you can't really see that. But yeah, I'm at like 33%. So yay. almost done with the sky portion, and then there's like a mountain portion. And then there's some trees at the bottom. So I still got a lot to go, but made some good progress on that one. I thought there was 3. Oh, the Clover one I showed you in the beginning. So the 3 that I've been working on are the Clover one, that one, and this one, because they're my Ada pieces. I guess technically my Peppermint Purple is on Ada too, but it's black work. So I don't know. It's a little different. It's still easy, but this one is my one that's from the Cross Stitch for the Earth book by Emma Congdon. Sorry, my arm is not working right. And it is this piece which says, "Between two pines is a doorway to a new world," and it's on this dark green color Ada. So I really like how the color of the fabric is actually part of the design. And I've made enough progress that you're starting to really kind of see that. So that's nice. So yeah, it's starting to look like something. You can see almost all the words. There's between two is up here still. You can see some of the trees on the side, and you're almost starting to see where the deer is right here. So what I did since last time is there's actually 2 green colors right here. And I did all that second green on the sides. I did this little blue green, which is like a lake here. And then I started on the second pink up here. So that's kind of from here up. I mean, it's confettied in there, but so I only have a few more colors after that. 2 more greens and to finish that pink. And then there's just some yellow in the sun. I'd say I'm at, I don't know, maybe 2/3-ish done with it. It's not on Pattern Keeper, so I'm just guessing. So, but it's really starting to like actually look like a piece instead of just like random colors. So I like that. I'm gonna work some more on this one. Although I have to use the book, which is a little more annoying than my phone. Let me see. I think that's everything in that section I wanted to talk about. So, haul, I don't have much. I have a little bit. Why do I have this out? Oh, I think I was just gonna, I'm picking, let's try again. I'm picking some of the colors from this one to use on a different piece. The Clover that I showed you at the beginning, that is the 7 colors of green on a white Ada. I'm going to, not immediately after, but I'm going to do that one again on the rest of this dark green Ada. So I need to change the colors of it. But this way, instead of a white clover in the middle, it'll be a green clover. And I think I'm going to use a lot of the same colors from this piece. Although I think I want like an off-white and stuff. So I'm going to switch them a little bit. But as I'm doing that piece, I'm kind of thinking about how I want this piece to look. Because before I put that all away, I want to make that decision and write out all the colors I'm going to do when I redo that piece. But I'm not going to start it again right away, because who wants to stitch 2 of the same things right away, even if they're different colors. The one I'm making right now is a present for someone, but then the one I make, the green one, my middle daughter's name is Clover, so it's for her. Yeah, the present is not for her, but she will definitely want a copy as well. The other thing I did buy was, I mentioned before, I'm weird and I like to know what I'm doing with all my pieces. So I had bought this Sea Lily green 16 count Aida when I bought this chart. Here comes the sun. And it's huge. That's a small piece, and this is a huge piece of fabric. And I'm like, I can get at least like 2 other, maybe like depending on their size, maybe even 3 other things out of that. So I was just kind of looking around on Etsy in case something caught my eye. And I found this. I should take it out because there's glare on the plastic, which is an ink circles piece called Dilly Dahlia, which I think will look really nice on this green. However, I really like, it's only 5 colors, sorry. I really like how these purples are going to look on it. And even the darker green, but this like yellow green, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling it on this, let alone on this. So I was actually messing around with this a little bit today, trying to figure out if I was going to order these colors and if I was going to change the whole kind of stem leaf part of it, and maybe even go in a little bit more of a bright green or turquoise even type direction. But one of the issues is that, I guess it's not really an issue, but they, this is charted with Weeks Dye Works thread, which I've never used, which is fine, but I was going to, like, I don't have a store I can go look at that type of thread. So I was just going to order, it's just 5 colors, I was just going to order it on Etsy. But if I want to make some color changes, it's hard. So I was looking at the pictures on Etsy, and I think I might have, I think what I might end up doing is buying these 5 colors and then also buying 2 other colors that I'm thinking, just based on looking at the pictures, that might work. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I got this chart in the mail. I had bought this from an Etsy store called something. Did I write it down? Maybe. I did not. Oh wait, it's right here. Cross Stitch Express. Because they also sent me this little guy as part of it, which says, "Hey heifer, I don't know if I'm gonna stitch this." The cow is actually cute, but there's a thing on the back, so I'm not gonna show. It's just kind of like a little, almost like postcard. I don't know if I'm gonna stitch that. Maybe one day I'll give it away or do something else. Who knows? But he's cute. And then I was already thinking, this morning is when I was looking through the different threads and trying to decide what I was going to order for that one. And I have this Threadworks thread. I believe it's $11.39. I believe it's called Tapestry. And it's like a purple, green turquoise. And I kind of like how that looks on there. And so I was kind of thinking, that's why I was thinking like maybe changing the stem to more of a, like a bright, sorry, you can't see, like this bright jade green or even a turquoise. Maybe like the 2 colors being those, because I was kind of thinking that, and then I started pulling out my thread to get an idea, and I found this, and I was like, see, that's what was in my head. So then I thought, well, since I still have more of this, and I like how this looks on it, why don't I, with the other chunk of fabric, look for something that's like a monochromatic piece that I can just use this thread with, this variegated thread. And of course, looking at this thread made me think of a peacock, because that's kind of the colors, right? So then I bought this, which is just a Peacock Sampler. It came from a Etsy store called Embroidery Patterns PDF, and it has the name of the artist as Elena Karatanova. So I think this would look cool on this green with this variegated floss. It's a little big for the piece of fabric that I'm going to have. It would only be like 1 inch on either side, so it would be very easy to just chop off. Also, I don't know that I like all this extra border anyhow. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing the peacock and like just the small inside border and leaving off that whole extra border. That'll give me enough room on my fabric. And also, I think I would like how it looks better. So anyhow, I just bought that this morning. But now I need at least 2 more skeins of this. So now I'm gonna have to go buy some more stuff. So I think that's all my haul. Oh, one other thing. Actually, I didn't open it yet. Maybe it wouldn't be that hard to. Maybe it will. It's just a frame, a white frame, kind of a distressed white frame. For my Live Gently Upon This Earth piece. It came in the mail a couple days ago. I haven't even opened it, so I definitely haven't framed my thing, but I'm gonna possibly do that. So, okay, that's my haul. I have almost spent my entire Etsy gift card that I got from my dad for Christmas. I think I have like $1 and some change left on it. So I'll have to buy one more thing. Well, I need to buy more of this Threadworks floss now. So I'll buy a couple more skeins of this. And then my gift card will be gone and I might have to maybe stop spending as much. But also it was my birthday this month, so I was like, I actually didn't buy myself any stitchy stuff, I don't think, for my birthday. I bought myself new dishes. I have the same dishes I've had since that I got at my wedding shower, and I've been married for, I don't know, 13 years? I can't. Maybe 12 and a half. 12 and a half, that sounds right. So that's not an incredibly long time, but I went to IKEA and I got some new dishes. That was my birthday gift to myself. Of course, we took a trip. We left the day after my birthday, so that we spent enough money. That's my birthday gift. So my plans, I didn't mention this before when I was kind of doing my whole like beginning of the year thing, but my plans for the year are to try to just stitch every day a little bit. Now, my kind of bare minimum of stitching is pulling out 1 strand from the 6 in my 1 yard pieces that I've cut. So that's the bare minimum. I almost always do more. There were a couple days on our trip that was all I did, and that's about 15 minutes of stitching. 15 to 20, depending on the project, I guess. So that's my bare minimum. But I want to just stitch every day, and but I am giving myself a 1 day a month exemption, and that's probably needed because I have births and they come at weird times, and I sometimes have to stay for really long hours. So I'm sure there's going to be probably 1 day a month where I can't do any stitching. In January, the 1 day was the day that I did hurt myself because I didn't stitch before I went out skiing. And I certainly was not able to that day. I could barely move and I just needed to sit and ice myself. I thought about stitching, but I was like, no, that would be irresponsible. So I had my 1 day exemption in January, and it's the 31st, although I haven't done any stitching yet today, but I will. So I guess 1 month down, and that goal is working. And then my my other goal is usually to get about at least about 10 hours of stitching done in a week, which is usually pretty manageable for me. There are busy times, but like when my kids are at school, I often have time. Like I have things to do, but sometimes those things are like webinars and stuff like that I can stitch during. So which reminds me, my kids will be home soon. So I better wrap this up because they're going to come in from school and I won't be able to talk anymore. So yeah, I guess just in general though, my more immediate plans are to probably just continue with these 3 ADA projects that I have while my arm is healing up. I'm not sure how much I'll get to my other ones, like even like my big piece that I normally work on, my bear, my watercolor bear, I haven't touched it at all. Usually my goal is to work on all of my current whips at least once in a week. But what with travel and injury, there was one that has gotten missed even in the like 2.5 weeks it's been. So um, for right now though, I just have my 3 ADA pieces, and if I'm just gonna kind of concentrate on them as my arm hopefully starts feeling better, and um, hopefully I get good news when I go to the doctor and I don't need to like immobilize it further than I already have been doing. I'm really just been to the like kind of listening to my body point where I use it until it tells me not to use it and then I stop using it. So hopefully that will be the treatment that they tell me to do and not like stop moving your arm completely, because if I lose the use of my right arm temporarily, that would be quite inconvenient. But I'm hopeful that won't be the case. I'm about a week out, and it seems to most days be doing a little bit better every day, not every day. I think sometimes I do too much and I set myself back. So that's it. I'll wrap this up. And thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And I've been really trying to catch up on all of my Flosstube watching, and I still have a ways to go. So I better get back to that and back to my stitching. So bye, y'all.